Hello, families. This is Miss Page. I'm going to be talking about the next several slides. The slide that you're looking at next is math. Math takes about an hour or more every day, and we do these things on the slide are topics that we touch all year, and the children need to be secure in the majority of these topics. The first one is building number patterns and meaning through 20. So when we do math, we dig deeper into numbers, and what that means is we would ask, what is 20? So they would have to tell us, how do we make 20? Or 20 is 2 tens. Or another example of digging deeper into numbers would be a teen number. So let's say we said 13. The children will be able to tell us that 13 is made up of one group of 10 and 3 extra ones. That all goes into that building of number sense. The more they understand those numbers, the more they are able to work with those numbers in equations. Another topic we hit is measurement. We use non-standard units of measures like paper clips. We talk about inches and centimeters, but they do not need to be secure in how to measure with those 2 units. We also look at time, which include days of the week and months of the year. And the children need to be secure in telling time to the hour and the half hour by the end of the year. This is a kind of a tough, tricky topic, but by the end of the year, they usually all have it. They also need to know the difference between hours and minutes by the end of that unit. The next thing on the list is comparing numbers. So the children will be able to tell you between 2 groups or 3 groups, which one has more, which one has less. And they also will be able to tell you how many more is in one group than in another, or how many less is in one group or another group. Organizing and representing data. So they will be given some objects. We will sort those objects. They will be able to make a table. They will be able to make a picture graph with those, with that data, and also analyze that data by telling the more and the less, or how many in all. Throughout the program, we do a lot of number stories. And these number stories come after we teach a topic, after they're pretty secure in like addition or subtraction. Then we get to use that addition and subtraction and apply it in the number stories. The reading portion of the number stories is very important, them being able to read those high frequency words. We do a lot of practice and reading together to get through that. They apply their addition and subtraction facts in those number stories, and they also need to know, what does that plus sign mean, that minus sign mean, and that equal sign mean. The equal sign is probably the hardest, and they look at that equals, and they need to know that both sides of those equations are the same. That takes us a lot of time to get them to understand that, but we work with it often. The next item is geometry. We are recognizing and describing 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional shapes. So they need to name what the shape is and be able to give us characteristics of that shape. So if we're talking about a square, they will be able to tell us that it has 4 corners, 4 sides, and it has right angles, or square corners as we teach them. Another thing we work on is equal shares, and that is getting us ready for fractions in the upper grades. So they learn that each part is the same size in order to have equal shares. And we talk about 1/2 and 1/4. The next thing we touch on at the very end of the year is addition and subtraction strategies for 1 and 2-digit numbers. We talk about adding 2-digit numbers together briefly, which will get them ready for 2nd grade. As we are learning these topics, we use math talks and number talks, and that goes along with the digging deeper. They have to be able to tell us exactly in words what they mean when they're doing something, or how did they solve an equation or a number story. They're explaining it back to us, they're being the teacher and learning through that. We have student workbooks, which we use just about every day in class. And at semester, the first workbook will come home and we'll start a second workbook. In these workbooks are family letters, which we will be sending home usually at the beginning of each unit or periodically. The next slide pertains to science and social studies. On the screen, you are seeing our topics for science and social studies. The science is the first part. Pretty self-explanatory. We are doing reading text, answering questions, making predictions, testing out our hypotheses or what we're thinking, hearing what other people are talking about, and doing some activities to teach those concepts. The second part is families and schools. That's our social studies topics, and really all four of those topics kind of connect to the family and to the school. So we do lots of read alouds, we do some activities, we do some sharing, getting each other's ideas to make this all make sense for these little minds at work. The next slide is about our school rules. So our school has 5 rules: be respectful, be responsible, follow directions, keep your hands, feet, and objects to yourself, and be where you belong. The first graders should be familiar with these from kindergarten. At the beginning of the year, we talk every day about these rules. We practice them. We share with our friends what exactly does each rule mean and what does it look like? What should we be seeing the students doing if they are following these school rules? The last item on this page is CHAMPS, and this is a management system. Each letter stands for a certain thing. They go with conversation, help, activity, movement, and participation. And before we start an activity, we talk with the students and talk about what should the conversation level be? What are you going to do if you need help? Where should this activity be taking place? Are you allowed to get up and move around? And how should you be participating, either individually or with a partner or as a whole group? Our last slide is titled Odds and Ends. These are just little things that happen throughout the day and the week that you may need more information on. The first one is arrival. The bell rings at 8:45, and then the tardy bell rings at 8:55. So the children would start coming at 8:45. If they're getting breakfast, they stop and get breakfast. This year, they're going to come into our rooms, and then we're going to dismiss them to their lockers so that we can do some social distancing there. The dismissal time is at 2:40 this year. That's a lot different than the last year, and that will allow us time to help the virtual students and connect with them. Our first day is a half a day of school. Our dismissal is at 12:10. So on the first day, you'll want to make sure that your child knows how they're getting home at the end of the day. And is it parent pickup? Are they getting on the bus? And then we will be dismissing at 12:10 according to whatever they're doing. Or are they going to SAC for the remainder of the day? And then we will get those children where they need to go. So at 12:10, they're ready to walk out that door. Homework. We already talked about reading every day for homework. And we also, if you want to do more, you can always practice addition and subtraction facts or practice reading, writing, and spelling those word wall words. The next thing is snack. So because our day is shortened, we are not sure what exactly is going to happen with snack. Our lunch period has been pushed up to 11:15, so the students should be eating about 11:30, which is a lot earlier than last year. And so we're just not sure where snack is going to fall, if we even need snack. On the first day, though, your child will need a snack because many of them won't get home until just before 1 o'clock, and that is way too long to go without eating. So please send in a snack on that first day, and you can send in a snack the following days, but we just aren't sure what snack's going to look like. For snack, we would appreciate healthy snacks like crackers or carrot sticks or grapes or something healthy, not the candy or the cookies or anything sugar-filled, especially if we're eating it in the morning. The next item is birthdays. Unfortunately, because of COVID, we will not be having outside birthday treats come in. In first grade, we will sing happy birthday to your child, and a small token of acknowledgement will be given to your child. The next thing is money or notes. When you are sending in money and notes, if you please could put your child's name on the envelope or the bag. What is this item for? You could put our name on it in case it gets dropped before they get to the room. And what is inside that envelope or bag so that we know where it might need to go. And the final thing on our presentation is folders and backpacks. We just ask that you check those backpacks every day for notes that might be coming home, for papers that might be graded, really for any kind of communication that we are trying to send to you, and to empty the folders because they're not the greatest made folders and they may start falling apart. And if they do, you can buy a new lobster folder in the office or send in any folder that you may have at home. Also, we do not have binders that are red, like in kindergarten, that were B-books. We use that lobster folder or whatever folder you're sending in if it falls apart. And that's how we communicate with you. So if you're looking for information, that would be the first place I would look. And I think that wraps up our presentation. Thanks for listening. And Mrs. Lank and I are looking forward to seeing all of the children on the first day of school.